Hello. My oh my. How is everyone doing? I have a huge fly in my PC room and it's bothering me a lot because I can hear him go buzz buzz everywhere. I don't think you can hear him though. I think it's just me. He's just bothering me, so I think it's fine. Oh my god. Hello everyone. I was gonna say here's your boy, but I'm not really a boy. I'm good. Aw, that's good. I'm doing pretty well. Technically, I still have a fever where I don't really know why. Because I tested myself on Friday just for funsies. I was like, let's just try, right? And it turned out that I actually did have a fever and I was like, what? So I was like very shocked myself. Then I had a fever on Saturday and today as well. I don't really know why, because I feel completely fine. I do feel a little bit extra tired, but I also think it's because I've been sleeping really badly. But I don't really know why I have the fever. But I don't know. I'm also really reading a really good book right now, and I almost didn't stop my stream because I kind of forgot about the stream because I was so invested in the book. So I had a hard time like pulling myself from the book. I also know there is like a lot that we have to go through today, because as you can see on my July wrap up, I read 40 mangas, and that's actually incorrect. I read 41. Yeah. And then I read 9 light novels and then 17 normal books, or normal, I don't know what do you want to call it, but it's not a light novel, it's just like a proper book, maybe. So we have a lot to talk about today and discuss, and technically I don't really have that much time. I have 3 hours roughly, then I have to like get something else done. So I hope that we can like go through everything. Because some of these mangas are like longer like series, so it says like I read 41, but like one series is like 10 volumes or something, so I read the entire thing. Then I don't have to talk about every volume, but the entire series is one. But I think I still have 44 slides, so we definitely have some hours to go through. So I have my tea, I have my regular water, and I suggest you guys get something nice to drink, maybe some good snacks, cause yeah. It might be a cozy stay. And I hope that you guys will get some inspiration to maybe pick some of these books up. We will see. Some I will not recommend, and you will see why when we get to them. Let's see. I have everything here. Okay. Everything takes so long to find. There we go. Okay, let's start with the first book I read, okay? I always read a Stephen King book every summer. This is a reread. I have read all of Stephen King's books, except for the new ones that are coming out in autumn. I think it comes out in October, the new one. I'm not really sure. November, maybe. Somewhere around there. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like I want to read Stephen King again because I really truly enjoy his storytelling. He's the kind of like author, like he doesn't plot his stories out, and I feel like you can really tell. Not that it's like bad, but it's like I feel like he himself is very shocked where the story always go, and I find that very interesting. Like, and I also like that Stephen King's books are very character driven. So it's always about like the characters and what they do and what they say. But then you get to the ending, and sometimes he can't really tie the knot in the end, and then there's always like some supernatural happening in the end because he has to like explain everything in a good way. So I don't know, I like Stephen King, but I hate his endings in books, and I feel like that's kind of what Stephen King is known for though. But it's like, if you enjoy Stephen King, you have to, like, if you're gonna read Stephen King, you have to appreciate the way there, because like the book is like the journey from page 1 and then forward, and not so much a rewarding ending, because his books don't have a rewarding ending most of the time. I think he has some books that he kind of like have plotted. I think Insomnia was one, you know, the second Shining, and Needful Things might have been one, or maybe it was Rose Madden. Yeah, he has some that he have scripted and plotted out, but those also kind of feel stiff because like he follows a script and the character are not as vivid. This series is one of his, like, it's his most famous fantasy series. It's not just fantasy, I guess. It's kind of like sci-fi, but also not sci-fi. It's not really explained in the first book that this is the Gunslinger. It's a very short book. So if you want to like try out his fantasy stuff, I think this is like a good start. But the story is about this man who's a gunslinger, and he follows a man in black, and then he meets like the people in towns and like what the man in black have done in those towns, and you kind of feel like, oh shit, the man in black is the devil, because he goes to different places and do horrible things, and then he skedaddle. And then you have the gunslinger who comes and kind of like cleans up after him and then goes after him again. So it's kind of like this cat and mouse play. But there's also a lot of foreshadowing to the later books later on. I enjoy it. It's very cryptic. It's kind of like a fever dream. It's more about the atmosphere and the people that he meets along the way. I feel like a lot of people, when they read this, they always give it a bad review and they go like, oh shit, it made no sense because I have no clarity in the end. And I mean, I feel like that's the purpose of this series specifically, I think, because you don't really get any answers until like book 3 or 4 or something like that. And if you don't really have the patience for that, I don't think this is the book for you. But I love it because I love character driven stories, and I love like when people describe environments, and this is very vividly described, and I like descriptions, so yeah. But it is a reread, and I have read this before, but I picked this one specifically up to read this summer because I haven't read it in a very long time. I think I read The Dark Towers the first time it was, oh, I don't know, it might have been in high school, but it could also have been after high school, maybe when I was in my 20s, so maybe like 13 years ago or something. So I felt like I gave it a 5-star when I read it the first time, and now I gave it 4 stars because I felt like it was kind of lacking. But I also feel like you will not enjoy it as much the second time around because you know what's gonna happen later on in the books, and I feel like one of the charms of this books is that you know nothing. So I feel like if you're gonna go into The Dark Towers, go in knowing nothing is the best way to go into it. Also, hi, Gina. Welcome. Yeah. I do like Stephen King. I can ramble on about Stephen King for a very long time. He's the GOAT, in my opinion. The second book I read was a light novel. This is volume 3 in a series, and I thought there was only going to be 3 books in the series. Turns out that I was completely wrong, because the ending made no fucking sense and it ended very openly. So I'm assuming there's gonna be a volume 4. And I hate reading series that's not like... I like to read all of them in one go. So I usually don't start a series if it's incomplete. And everyone told me this was complete. And this author takes roughly 1 to 2 years to write all her books. And this one came out this year, so probably I will not have volume 4 until, I don't know, 2 years in the future. I don't know. But yeah, it was very cozy. It's the kind of like cozy romance story that I needed in the summer. It's cozy, it's cute. It's very predictable, it's very fluffy. It's taking them 3 books to realize that they like each other. Before it was just like they were fake dating to not... she wanted to work and a lady was not supposed to work. And he didn't want to marry someone just because to like rise in the nobles, and he is like the highest rank in the nobles anyway, so he didn't want to have like a political marriage. So they started like fake dating to get their parents just like stop pestering them about getting married. And then on the side she works at like as an art dealer, and her uncle is a painter. And she works a lot with that. And then there's like this corruption in the art gallery. Someone is trying to take down the king, and she stops it because she knows so much about paintings and stuff. So there's some mystery to it. The mystery is not huge, but it's there. But in this book, it was all about them realizing that they're not faking anymore and they actually like each other, but they don't know how to tell each other. So they kind of told each other in the end of the book, but they also kind of didn't tell each other in the book. And that's why I was confused, because I was like, I thought there was going to be a good ending here, but it wasn't an ending there. You know. So I'm assuming it's continuing, so I have to wait a few more years until I get to finish this one. But I gave it 5 stars because, you know, I devoured it because I like fluffy shit like this, and it was like a nice cleansing plate for more deep books that I read later on in the month. After this, I picked up Dungeon Crawler Card. Everyone told me there was going to be the most amazing read I have ever done. And I mean, yeah, I guess. It's not the best I read this month, because I have other books that I read this month that was like better. But I was surprised by how great it was. It's in a genre called Lit RPG or Literature RPG. So it's kind of like an RPG game, but in a novel format. I've read a lot of these. Not a lot of them have gone viral the way Dungeon Crawler Carl have. And I think one of the biggest reason is because of Princess. And for you guys who doesn't know this story, it's about a guy named Carl and his ex-girlfriend's show cat, or and her name is Princess, and aliens take over the planet, and they say that for the people who want to survive, you can become a dungeon crawler, which is basically participants in their death games, and you have to like go through different dungeons and levels of it, and you can unlock different achievements and loot and stuff like that. And he doesn't know what it means, but he goes there because he doesn't want to die. And then becomes like the book starts with him realizing what this death game is and how to survive the best way. And it's very absurd, bizarre. It's very funny. Like, I laughed a lot to a lot of things. Sometimes it can be very repetitive, so like I felt like you don't have to read every achievement and all the upgrades and everything, because like they repeat everything over and over again. But like if you skip a lot in the book, it's very funny. And I liked it. I did like Princess a lot because she's very much a cat, because in the dungeon she gets achievements and loot that makes her she can talk. She starts talking, and she is definitely very cat-like. And I don't know, I enjoyed it. I will most likely buy the rest of the series. I haven't bought them yet because I have other books that's in my priority right now, but I will definitely continue this book series at some point. Then I read this one. It's the first book in my trilogy. The other two books are not out yet. I started reading this because my friend Gina, who's in the chat, said we went to a bookshop and I told her, you can pick any book you want that you think I should buy or read or whatever. And she picked this one for me. It said it was going to be a fantasy gothic. And I mean, it was. Did I like the book? Maybe. Like, I still think about it, and I read it almost like a month ago, because I read it in the beginning of the month of July, and it's August now. So, I mean, I still think about it sometimes. I enjoy the world building and the magic system. I enjoyed very, very much, but I hated the characters. I feel like it was very much young adult or YA. I feel like there was this misunderstanding trope was like deluxe, because it was misunderstandings after misunderstandings after more misunderstandings, and the character just didn't talk to each other, and it pissed me off. Like, the book would have been not a book if they just talked to each other. It's also very gay. We have a trans character and we have some lesbian characters, and they are portrayed very well. I mean, all relationships in this book are very, very toxic. Is it, and I'm not saying gay is toxic, it's just like in this book it was just very toxic, but like, I don't know, I kind of liked it, I guess. I generally dislike it when misunderstanding is the only thing that's driving the plot. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. The story is about this magical, not a school, but it's like you have 4 factions and they all have like underlings who work for them, and then you have like the master and you have the underling, and the master drains energy from their underling to do the magic that they do. And then there's like different kind of magic. You have like the botanical one, you have the bone witches, you have the blood witches, and then there's another one. Which was that? Oh yeah, stone, like stone earth kind of thing. And all these underlings decide that they don't want to be like these energy bags for their masters anymore. And then there's like the ultimate master who's above all. And when he dies, there's gonna be like this death match between the four masters on who's gonna be like the new ruler of the world. And someone murders the big man. So it's like a little bit of mystery on who murdered him, and then you have like the four masters who all want to have like be the big guy, and then you have like the four underlings who decides that they want to run away basically and not be used for their energy. But the main characters are the underling and how they kind of like trying to manipulate each other. So like they say they want to help to like run away, but they don't because they're helping their master. So there's a lot of backstabbing, which is based on misunderstandings. And ALOT is like, you kissed her instead of me, so I'm mad at you, so I'm gonna make it so you get murdered in the most gruesome way ever. Because this book is extremely gruesome and bloody. I do enjoy the Bone Witch the most. I think their magic was the best one. But the character of the Bone Witch, the underling, hated her so much. But yeah, it was very young adult catered. Misunderstandings are part of life, but I despise when it's the main thing that makes sure we have a book. Yeah, exactly. I also felt like, you know, when we actually know who murdered like the big guy in the end, I was very like, okay, who cares? Because it also made no sense. Like, when the person came out and said it was me, I was like, yeah, I kind of knew that. But like, then you get the reasoning why this person did it, and it was not really a proper reason. It was just like, I didn't want to have sex with my partner anymore because I hated them, so I wanted everyone to suffer. So if I killed the big guy, we would have to go into a death match. And that's what I wanted. I wanted everyone to burn because I hated that I had to like sleep with someone I didn't like. But I did it to manipulate that person. So it was my fault that I was in a relationship with them. So I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is the proper reason for killing the big guy? It was just like, I want everyone to die and burn, basically. I don't know. I gave it 3 stars because of the world building. I feel like the world building was peak. It was really well done. And the thing is, I'm kinda, perhaps maybe interested in knowing what's happening in the second book. The second book is going to come out like spring next year. So perhaps I'm gonna pick it up. I don't know yet, because I keep thinking about it and I hate it, but I also kinda like it. I don't know. It's a weird one. That's a weird reason. I know. It was just like, oh, I don't know. I hate my life. I hate this suffering. I don't want to be here. Everyone should die. I was like, okay. That makes very little sense, but sure. After that, I decided I need to read a thriller. I was a little bit in the disgusting mood, so I decided that I think this... When I saw this book, I was like, this is gonna be like a 5-star read for me, because I love stories about obsessions and stalking and stuff like that. And this is a Korean thriller, and the premise is basically 4 women who love this K-pop idol with all their hearts. They love him so much. They're obsessed with him. They're all different. All the women are different. Like, they have like different jobs, different educations, different age groups and everything, but they still love him in their own way. All these women meet each other and they decide that their purpose is to kidnap him and have him all to themselves. And that is the premise of the book. It starts with him already being kidnapped and being in a room, and he kind of lost his memories from the kidnapping, and he doesn't really know where he is, and they tell him that they found him and they will take him to a hospital once he feels better, and they kind of like take care of him, but they also kind of like lock him into a room. I don't know. He thinks that he kind of is in a healthcare center of some sort, and these women are just like nurses, but also not. Every episode is based on a character, so we had his chapter when we see his point of view. We have all the 4 women's chapters where we see each of them's point of view, like why it happened, and then we have the ending and the epilogue on what happened after. And I felt like it just kind of felt flat for me. I felt like the premises was very good, but the execution was really bad for me. I enjoyed that we see everyone's perspective and why they do what they do. I also like that there was a lot of mind games going on behind the scenes, that like a lot of foreshadowing that you didn't understand in the beginning, but then when it was explained, it was like, oh my god, that's so smart. So I kind of liked it, but I also felt like it wasn't enough to love it. I felt like it was an okay book. But then I also read the epilogue, because to me it was a 4-star read, maybe 3.5. But then I read the epilogue and it disgusted me. And I mean completely destroyed the book to me. Like a lot. Like a lot. And I felt like if she wouldn't had that epilogue, I probably would have been fine with it. And I don't want to like spoil it, because that's spoiling the book to explain what the epilogue was. But it made me really uncomfortable, not in a like, oh my god, it was like that, I'm shocked, but it was more like, what the fuck is wrong with you, and why do you think like that? And that's not how rape works, kind of thing. And I don't know if that's the purpose. I don't know. I'm just sitting here staring into the wall because I don't know how to explain it without like giving away too much. But think, Stephen King's Misery is kind of like that, but crazy K-pop fans. Yeah, I feel like that explains the book a lot. Except for Stephen King writing better than this. This is also the author's first ever book. They have only written like non-fiction before, and drama and poetry, and I can kind of tell. So I felt like it was kind of hard to get into it, because I know a lot have said that they don't like the way it's written, and it was like not an easy read. To me, I don't know. I feel like I've read a lot of these books before, so it was kind of simple. I think it's just like how avid of a reader you are. I also read a lot of badly translated fan fictions, and if you have read a lot of badly written fan fictions, nothing really scares you, You don't really get bothered by translations after that. Hi there, can't stay long sadly because I need to get back to studying soon, but how is everyone? Hi Tech. What did I tune into? Yeah, it's this book that I've been reading. But I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was an okay book, nothing amazing. Nothing amazing. But after I read that book, I picked up a book that then turned out to be my favorite read of this month. And it's Whale Fall by Daniel Kraus. When this book came out, I read about it everywhere and I was like, oh my god, I need to read it. Because if it's something that I hate more than anything when it comes to horror books and horror movies, it's the water and the sea, because I feel like that spooks me out more than anything in the entire world. And I'm a great swimmer, but there's something about the big sea and how dark it is and us not knowing what's down there. And this book, I feel, is the most claustrophobic book I've ever read in my entire life, and I loved every second of it, even if it was very I can't breathe, I'm gonna die experience. I also read it in one sitting because it was that good and I devoured it. The best way I could describe it is daddy issues, but inside of a whale. I feel like that explains the book very well. You know how Frankenstein is a horror book, but it's technically not horror. I mean, it is about a monster that's like mad and goes like, ooh, over Victor Frankenstein. But the only reason he does that is because, you know, he's sad that he was turned away by his father or his creator, and all he wanted was a family, and that's why he goes berserk. And it's very human to be a monster. Like Mary Shelley, she also wrote the book because one day she had this dream after her baby girl died. She had this dream that she was rubbing the skin of her child in front of the fire, and due to the warmth of the fire, the baby came to life, and she was so happy that it came back to life. And then she woke up and her baby was still lying next to her, dead. She wrote that in a diary, and that's kind of what sparked this idea and fascination about, can you still love something that's dead? Does that make it a monster just because it's dead? And can the dead come back to life? And it's very much about emotions. And Whale Fall is about emotions as well. It will emotionally wreck you. I mean, it did with me at least. The premise of the book is kind of like... it's about a guy who, when he was young, his dad taught him about like diving and everything he needed to know about diving. His dad gets cancer and dies, and he didn't die from the cancer because he didn't want the cancer to take him, so the dad just takes out in the middle of the water and just throw himself in and drowns himself. Because he wants to be part of the water. He and the son never had a good relationship. They had a very, very toxic relationship. And to like get over his dad's death and not being able to say goodbye to his dad and like reconcile with his dad before he dies, he decides to dive and look for his corpse or his bones, so they have something to put in the casket. But instead he gets swallowed by a sperm whale, and yeah, it gets from there. He's stuck in the whale and he can't get out, and he's rushing against the clock. And every like the chapters are really, really short. They're like 2 to 3 pages, and on the start of every chapter there's how much air is left in his tank and how much time he has until he dies. So the entire book is very like, is rushing you. It's like, short snippets of chapters, information here and there. You get to be like, oh, he only have this much air left and this much time left, and it gets very emotional in the end. Oh, I see, I didn't change the author notes there. Oh, whatever. I cried in the end of the book. It's one of the better books I've read in a very, very long time. And I feel like everyone should read this. Just like everyone should read Frankenstein, because I feel like it changes you. To be honest, I thought it was only gonna be like a spooky book about a guy who gets swallowed by a whale. I know a lot of the negative reviews on this is that it's too much daddy issues and too much flashbacks to his toxic relationship with his extremely toxic masculinity dad, and him not being as masculine and more, not girlish, but he's not as big strong man like his dad, and that kind of like putting problems in their relationship. But it's also very beautiful that everything that his dad taught him at a very young age, he used to get out of this situation. So it's kind of like, you know, his dad is there to help him out of this situation. Because he was like, why did you have to force me to dive since I was like 4 years old, and you took me out every morning and I just wanted to have a normal childhood. And it's like, but it led you here to survive something like this. So, I don't know. It's a very beautiful metaphoric book, in my opinion. And we should have more books like this. Too much daddy issues, complaining about the bed being too soft and the steak being too juicy kind of people. I mean, if you stuck in a whale, what else can you do? Exactly. All you can do is just think about the past and be like reminiscent and like, this is it. You know? Yeah, I agree. This one, I read the first volume last month and I talked about it, so I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but it's basically Sherlock Holmes but in a manga version. It's not Sherlock Holmes because it's in present time. It's mainly dialogue, and there's a lot of dialogue in this one, so you have to like reading. Usually when I read manga, I read them because I don't want to read that much. I know that sounds really bad, but sometimes, you know, I just need a break from manga. Not manga, from books, I mean. And then I pick up a manga because I'm like, that's still reading, but it's a lot of like picture comprehension and stuff like that, and picture analyzing and art, and not so much text. This one, on the other hand, has a lot of text. But it's extremely intelligent. And it's about this guy that you see on the front cover. Every chapter, sometimes volume, because it kind of differs how long the mystery is for, he gets dragged into all these kind of mysteries, and he has a very specific way of thinking. He's not like, you know, Sherlock Holmes, who's like, oh my god, I know exactly who the murderer is, but he talks about a lot of things, and you can see his thought process in the dialogue, and it's very intelligently written, and it's funny. It's, I don't know, I enjoy it a lot, but it's definitely not this kind of like, I want to chill, so I read this. Because I feel like you have to think a lot when you read it as well. But yeah, it was very fun. In this one, he was dragged into like a family drama about an inheritance, and everyone, if the big guy dies, everyone underneath had to like fight for the inheritance and this like big game on how to fight for it. And apparently people die every generation because they get killed off, and now like everyone is scared. So one of the girls, who's like 16 or something, she hires him because she sees that he's very smart and something. So she's like hire him to like be her bodyguard, and then he figures out who the killer is and why the killer is, and the family puzzle and mystery behind everything. It's very good. I like it. If you want a very good mystery, this one is it. Shada gotta go, head out and be productive. Do it. Good luck with your studies. But yeah, I like this a lot. I had to buy the second one. There's also omnibuses, so it's 2 manga volumes in one. I have bought the 3rd volume. I haven't gotten it yet, but it's on its way. Then I read volume 3 of 12 Kingdoms. Wait, is it volume 3? Isn't this volume 4? No, it's volume 3. Is it? Now I'm... No, is it? Isn't this volume 4? Yeah, this is volume 4. Oh my god. I'm stupid. I forgot. Yeah. Oh yeah, volume 3 was the one with the side story. I mean, this is a side story as well. You get back to the main after this one. So book 5, you get back to the main story, I guess. But yeah, this one is basically political. This one was my favorite when I was younger in high school. I liked this one the most. The one I read last month was book 3. The book before this, and that was my least favorite one in high school, but I prefer that one today. This one I liked a lot when I was younger because I enjoyed reading political war fiction, and like the political standpoints. Reading it today, right now, I wasn't as intrigued. But we get the background story of Kingdom of N. I still enjoy it a lot because I love her writing. I was not a huge fan of all the flashbacks. There was a lot of flashbacks in this one. I would prefer it if it was like written like we get the background story of the flashbacks first, and then we get to the more present thing then, because now it was very like back and forward without telling us it was going back and forward. If it was better made, that we could have that we knew it was a flashback, it would have made more sense. But I have read this before, so I kind of understood it was flashbacks, so I just don't enjoy how it was written. The story about this is just the Kingdom of N, and it's basically 3 dudes with bummer childhoods. They all 3 dudes have really bad childhoods. They act out on it, basically. And then the Kingdom of N is created from that. Okay, it's not created, but like the ruler is created and chosen out of that. I like it. Very political. Not my cup of tea anymore. I still enjoy Fujimi's storytelling. I love the world building. It's great. Yeah. I also continued this manga series called Smile. I read volume 3. Volume 4 is on the way, but I haven't gotten it yet. It's about a cult. It's very uncomfortable. About the man who's looking for his wife after seeing her on some cult-related papers. And it's a cult about smiling. They think that the more you smile, the happier you will be. So no matter in what situation you're in, you have to smile and be happy. So even if they're torturing each other, they're sitting there with a big smile and they laugh, which is extremely uncomfortable. And the author himself was like, smiling might be the happiest expression you can do, but it's also one of the creepiest depending on the situation. And I can't agree more with that. Like, it's very true. We get more dead bodies. We get to see more behind the scenes of what the cult actually do with the dead bodies, and it's very fucked up. I read this book in the dark and I had some nightmares. Maybe don't read it in the dark. I don't know. It's all up to you guys what you want to do. But this is one of the mangas that I read that actually made me feel very uncomfortable. Like, I've read a lot of horror manga before, but I think this is one of them that really creeps under my skin in like a bad way, but like in a good way, because that's what you want from reading horror, obviously. But yeah, it's very ew when I read it, you know? To me, it's a 5 out of 5 star. I can't really say much more about it to spoil it, but it's great. I love it. I also picked up this one because everyone on Twitter talked about how great this one is. And it's Whoever You Are, I Love You. And I was pleasantly surprised. I did not know Twitter had such good taste in manga. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they can, of course. But it has that really old school look to it if you look at the art style. And it's a new translation. And I bought the first one. I'm waiting for the second one to come out. It's very much who you can trust and who you can't trust, and evil kind of lurks beneath the most beautiful faces. Just because someone is very attractive doesn't necessarily mean they are a good person, rather the other way. But we follow this girl who is dating a guy. She was, her dad is very sick, and he wants to see her in a wedding dress before he dies, and he gonna die very soon. So she's very, very desperate at finding a partner. So she goes on to like Tinder or whatever, like dating apps, and she finds this man. And he is everything that she always wanted. And he tells her that he wants to marry her. But there's one problem, is that he can't marry her because the firm that he works at kind of like they kind of fired him, and he doesn't have any money to get married or propose and get engaged with her. So he said that he's gonna start his own firm, but to do so that he needs clients and stuff. So he's asking her that if she can keep using Tinder or this dating app and find men with good paying jobs and introduce them to him. And she doesn't really think anything of it, and she does that. And a few months later on, I think it's probably 12 months, 10 months or something, there's this man who shows up, and he's like, you were going to meet my brother, and after that you introduced him to this guy who introduced him to this girl who murdered him, kinda, maybe, or something. He was killed, and she got, like, because they got married, and she got all his money, and he's like, your guy that you introduced them to is like scamming people, and you're used for the scamming. And she doesn't believe him first, because she's like, my guy is perfect, but because he's beautiful, so he can't be a bad person, but he is, obviously. And the more you get into it, the more horrible her boyfriend actually is. And it's very compelling. Like, it has a lot of twists and turns, and I really like it. So she and that brother is gonna, like, investigate and find, like, the dirt on the guy, and like, proof of scamming. The only thing I don't like is Yuki, the main character that you see on the picture on the front. She's very, very fucking dumb. Like, I know that she's naive and she's very desperate into having a guy to prove and show her dad. But, like, isn't it kind of obvious that she's helping with scamming, like romance scamming? I don't know. I just don't like her because she's just that dumb. Other than that, I really like it, and I hope that she grows as a person, like her I hope we will see a character growth of it. I also bought this one because I am in love with a manga artist named Double S. He wrote the manga series Until Death Do Us Part. He's so good at details in his art style, and just love it. I saw that he and another guy wrote Isak together, and it caught my eye. First I thought Double S was the one who wrote it, but he's only doing the art style for it, and then you have Shinji Makari, who is doing the storyboard for it and the actual story. It's a historical manga about a Japanese man called Isak who goes to Europe in 1620. He's this warrior who has a matchlock, and he is following a man who killed his master in Japan. So he had a master, like a matchlock wielding master, and he and another one was a trainee, and that other trainee killed the master and stole one of the matchlocks and went to Europe during the 1600s. And Isak decides that he wants revenge, so he also goes to Europe with the other matchlock to find the revenge. And then he gets dragged into different wars that's going around in Europe during this time. It's very historically accurate. I did some research just to see, like, is this real? And it was. And apparently this author who did the story, he said he found it really interesting that he saw in the history books that there was actually a lot of Japanese samurais and others who went to Europe to help with different wars because they wanted to travel the world. So they joined, like, the Spanish army and all this, but they joined with their own, like, warrior experience and samurais and all of that. And I never heard about that before, but I did some research and it's apparently true, and I thought that was really cool. So if you want to read something very historically accurate, this one is for you. If you love very, very, very realistic and detailed art, then this is also for you. And I'm just a Double S nerd. Like, anything that anytime I see his art, I will buy it. I'm just, it's whatever. I think he's the manga artist for my Stephen King. Like, anything Stephen King touches and does, I will buy. And the same goes for Double S, I think. Like, I just I just love his art so much, okay? But yeah, I really enjoy this one. This one is another manga I read, is an omnibus as well. Isak was also an omnibus. I bought it and it's called After the Rain. It's about this young girl who she does track. She's a very fast runner, but then one day she gets into an injury with her foot and she can't run anymore, and she feels like her entire life is dwindled, and she's like, who am I? What do I do? I've spent my entire life on this and all my friends is in this, and I can't even go watch them work out on track anymore because I'm heartbroken. And I can very much relate to that part because I also got injured in my shoulder, my right shoulder, when I was swimming, and I couldn't go pro due to that. And a lot of my childhood was centered around my swimming career and just swimming, and I didn't have anything else besides swimming. So I know exactly what she's going through. I went through it at the same age as she did, so I felt like that was very realistic. But then it turns that she starts working at like a diner, and she falls in love with her manager, who's like 40 or something. And she has this big crush on him, which is kind of cute and sweet in theory, that she's like looking up to him and she, but then she asks him out and he's like, no, I can't because you're too young and you're underage. But then she kind of like tricks him and be like, oh, but you can just go on one date and we can see. And then he's like making a joke that, okay, whatever, but you're not gonna like me because I'm too old anyway. And then she's like, oh my god, he said yes. And he was like, no, I didn't, but then he has to go on a date, and they kind of do go on a date. Nothing inappropriately happens because they only go like, they don't really hold hands and hug and stuff like that, but like she obviously wants to because she is in love with him, and she kind of, but everyone is telling me that it's sweet and they're not gonna date or whatever, but like he's gonna learn from her to like, because he's a very depressed man and divorced man, and he's gonna like get a new view of life through her, and she's gonna like find a new passion through him but not him, if that makes sense. I'm still very thrown off with like the age gap. I still gave it like 4 out of 5 because I did like the background story, and if I just look away from the age gap thing and underage dating thing, it was kind of cute. I think I will stick with it though. I feel like, I've read a lot of manga that's very like sus in this aspect, and I feel like this was not written in a sus way. I feel like it's written in a very sweet, they're going to like support each other way, and not like do the deed. You know what I mean? But yeah, I feel like it's hard to like recommend this because I know a lot of people will be like, ugh, but I also haven't finished it, so I can't really speak too much about it. I only read like this omnibus volume. It's like 2 or 3 volumes, so I don't know. I bought the second omnibus after this one, so we will see once it comes, and I will just read that. Then we have this one, this is apparently a classic. I didn't know it was a classic. I bought it because it came out with like a new omnibus, and I thought it was new. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was very new. Apparently it's not. It's a cult classic, and it's apparently a movie on it, and reading this manga, I don't... how the fuck do you make a movie on it? But apparently it's a very gory, very splash horror movie, which makes sense, but it is a fucked up gory manga. It's called Ichi the Killer. It's about this martial art guy called Ichi who was bullied his entire life, and now he's been recruited by some Yakuza guys to be their like fighter. So like this old man, he just calls him and be like, yo, can you go and kill this person? He's in this room. And then he just go and kill that person, but he also gets off on it because he enjoys killing people. You know what I mean? So this is not for the faint of heart, okay? But I kind of devoured it because it was so fucked up and so gory, and I really liked it. But yeah, it's very brutal, very explicit. You also have a guy who's really into torture that literally tortures people in this manga, and there's a lot of like snuff scenes of it. The author is the same author who made it's all over TikTok. Everyone is like, you have to read this Homunculus. I've read it. Isn't it called that? Homunculus? Yeah, I don't know. Something like that. He also wrote Goodnight Pun Pun. I think. Isn't that the same author who made Goodnight Pun Pun? No, wait. Goodnight Pun Pun is by someone else. That's Asanos who made that. Let's see. Hideo Amato. He made Homunculus, and then he made this one, Ichi the Killer, who came out 98. And then he done other Hitman stuff. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the other ones. It's okay. It's very much gruesome. If you're into Yakuza, the underworld, and stuff like that, it's pretty good. It's very gory. A lot about revenge as well. But you can't have a sensitive stomach. After that, I was really, really into reading about hitmans and the Yakuza and the underworld, okay? So I picked the Fable up. And I love this one. This one is a lot better than Ichi the Killer. Ichi the Killer is just there for shock value. It's there to be like, oh god, they're frying someone's pee-pee, which they kind of do in the manga. But this one, on the other hand, is more funny. And it's about this genius hitman. He's been working for a few years. He's like the best hitman ever. He knows everything. And one day they just say like, okay, you have done so many jobs now for us that like you have to lay low for a year. So you and this girl who's also like, she's his getaway car driver. She's a really good driver. They're like, you two have to lay low for a year. So we're gonna send you to this offshore city, and here's your new identities, and you cannot do anything that has anything to do with the underworld whatsoever. But like, just live a quiet life for a year. And it's very hard for him to do that, especially because like they go to a remote stay in some city, but they get like help with housing and stuff from the Yakuza. So people kind of like suspect that like they can't be normal people who live in Yakuza houses. So a lot of people like start fights with them. But he can't show that he's good at fighting and he's a hitman, so he have to like in some way kind of like fight people but pretend like he's not good at it, but not losing. So he's like, oh no, I was just lucky because I fell in a way that made me hit you like that, or I don't know, whatever. It's very funny to see him balance real life and not being a hitman. He's also not the smartest guy. He's very dumb. Like, you see him like handling a gun and like fighting people, and he's so good at it. But then you see him trying to like take care of his new pet bird, and he doesn't know what to do, and it's just so ridiculous. And his taste in comedy is also very, very bad, but I don't know, it's just like a funny read. It does cover, you know, the underworld and Yakuza, but like in a funny way. You never really see much gruesome stuff. You see him shoot some people, but you don't really see any gore in him shooting people. It has the right balance of still being the underworld, but still funny. I also bought the second volume of the Fable as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. After that, I decided I need to read a proper book because now I have read a lot of manga. So I decided to read the Japanese book Bullet Train by Kotaro Isaka. It's also made into an American movie. I think Brad Pitt is in it, but it changed the story in the movie. I really wanted to watch the movie after I read the book, but then I read everything that they changed, which was the main plot, and I feel like you can't change the main plot because then it makes no sense. It's not the same movie. It just have the same theme of a bullet train. But this is about some hitmens. I know I read a lot about hitmens now, but it's some hitmens who go on a train, the same train, the bullet train, and they have an object that some has to kill someone, some is there to steal a bag from someone is there to transport someone to another place and stuff like that, and they collide and stuff happens. Every chapter is divided between these hitmen, and you see their point of view and everything, and it's so masterfully connected in the end, which is kind of funny because it took me like half the book to get into it, and I was like, I don't get it, I don't like it, do I even bother with this book? And it took so long. But then the last I think 100 pages, I was like so locked in, and I was like, I love the characters, I'm so invested because we have put so much time and effort into getting to know these characters, and I don't know exactly what they're gonna do, and then stuff happens and it just derails from there. It's funny, it's smart, it's mystery, it has everything. But this is the kind of book that you need to have patience to read it, because to me it didn't get good until maybe like half into it, because it's very much, there's so many characters that you have to keep track on, and you have to get to know them. So it took a long time to get into it because you had to like build your reference on who is this character and why does he act like this and why does she do this. But once you get into it, it's worth it. The ending was definitely worth everything in this one. I also have some more books by Kotaro Isaka. I haven't started reading them yet, but they are on my to-read list. He writes a lot of thriller about spies and hitmen and stuff like that, so definitely something to check out for. After that, I felt like I needed something cozy, so I decided to pick this one up, My Grandfather the Master Detective. which is a mystery. It is very cozy, but it's also a mystery book, so I had to think a lot. So I couldn't turn my brain off, but it's still a yes because I still gave it 5 stars. It's really, really good. And the author said that this was his love letter to his own grandpa after his grandfather was he had Alzheimer's and he took care of him, and then he decided he wanted to write a book about, like, you know, an old man who was a teacher and a principal, but he loved to read mystery books, and he loves mysteries and he keeps his brain going with mysteries, but he's also kinda deteriorating because he do have Alzheimer's, so sometimes he see and hear things that isn't there and he think things that aren't there. So he's not, you know, we can't really trust his narrations very well. It kind of gives me the same vibes as Before the Coffee Gets Cold, but also kind of like Agatha Christie. It's not like full-on murder mysteries and gruesome stuff. It's more like cozy mystery. And then we have his granddaughter who comes to him and take care of him, and she tells him, oh, I heard about this restaurant and this happened and this thing was stolen. I don't know how it was stolen. And then he kind of like tells her how it was stolen. So she tells him a mystery and gives him like all the evidence, and then he kind of like solve the case for us and tells us how it's solved. And the later chapters is about the granddaughter herself, and then you have to like remember stuff that's been said in all of the chapters beforehand, because there is a lot of foreshadowing to the ending, and I loved it. It was really good. So if you're into cozy mystery, I would recommend this one because it's really good. I think there's gonna be a second book, but I'm not really sure because it kind of ended with like a very sad, like, this is the end, nothing more. So it could be that this is actually the end and it's only like one book. I don't know. After finishing that one, I wanted to read something lighthearted, and I knew this was going to be probably very, very lighthearted because it's a collection of short stories. I don't know if you guys remember Marie Kondo, but Marie Kondo was this Netflix tidier or cleaner. She was this Japanese woman who had this cozy Netflix show that she would go around to people's home and she would help them tidy up. And she would always say, like, you can only keep stuff if they spark joy. Exactly. Does it spark joy? So she decided to like gang up together with Genki, who has written a lot of like cozy books in Japan, many about cats. I think it's like The Cat Who Saved the Library or The Cat Who Saved Books, something along those lines. And he interviewed her on her most rememberable cases that she had, and she told him about them and he wrote them, but as if it would have been a childhood story. So it's not really written like a non-fiction, even though it is non-fiction, because it is based on real cases and her real life. But yeah, well, you have some cleaning, you have a talking box, because she always brings a box with her everywhere she goes, and that box is talking to her and is very sassy, I must say. She also talked to trash a lot. But every chapter is about like a new person that she meets. I remember one chapter vividly that I was like, what the fuck, over? And it was about this man who has he has a lot of books, and she feels like they don't spark joy to him, because if they did spark joy to him, he would take care of the books a lot more. And because the books are dusty, he don't care about the books anymore, so he should throw them away. So then they go through all the books together on which he should save and which he should throw away. And it kind of turns out that he doesn't really throw away many books, but just like taking all the books out and taking away the dust from them and just holding them and realizing I bought them due to this sparks joy in him, and he realizes why he enjoys books so much, and he starts reading them again. And I found that kind of beautiful. It's very poetic, it's very cozy, it's basically about a woman who goes around cleaning. And yeah, it's also another chapter about this woman who she got into university and she's gonna move. And her entire life, her mom has like decided what clothes she should wear, what shoes she's gonna wear, what she's gonna do with her life. And she realizes that she doesn't really want to bring anything from her childhood home with her, because she doesn't feel like they spark that much joy in her, and she doesn't feel like that's her. So Marie Kondo gets there, and they kind of like, she helps her realizes who she is as a person through the stuff that she has at home. Because, you know, you can go through all the stuff you have and be like, oh, I don't like them. Sure, but also like, if you don't like them, then you know what you like. But this girl, she was like, I just know I don't like this, but I don't know what I want myself, because I'm never taking a decision for myself. But then she helps her realize this is what you like. And I don't know, I think it's a very poetic thing. I feel like it's wholesome. You learn some great lessons. It's not very much about cleaning, like how you get to be a better cleaner, but but it's good. I liked it. Another book that is a huge yes for me. I feel like I read only good books this month. And yeah, I read this book about this Korean author named Monica Kim, and it's about molka. And for everyone that doesn't know what a molka is, it's a Korean term for a spy camera that secretly and illegally is installed in places, often to capture voyeurism images and videos. They are becoming a huge problem in Korea recently. There's a lot of debate around these. There's a lot of people who is installing cameras in public bathrooms, office bathrooms, anywhere you can just think about, you know, like dressing rooms in stores or whatever. And people doesn't feel safe anymore, because you don't know where these molkas can be. And a lot of the times some are used for, you know, the person who put out the camera's pleasure, and sometimes it's used to like extort money from people, or it's used to sell to other perverts on the internet or whatever. This book is about those molkas and about disgusting men and what they do to get these videos of innocent women. And this entire book was just disgusting and very uncomfortable. And I feel like I'm so happy that I don't live in a society where this is a problem. I mean, I don't know, maybe it is a problem in Sweden as well, but I've never heard about this before. I know there's a huge problem in Korea, and they also made a few K-dramas on this topic. it's mainly about this one girl who is dating this really rich guy. He's like, she met him and she was like, damn, he's very good looking. And then her friend is like, damn, he's the son of this giant blah blah blah, and he's a billionaire or whatever. He has a lot of money. And she gets like, oh my god, he loves me. You know, he could pick anyone, but he picks me and I'm nobody. And then it turns out that he and his friends drug her and do things to her, and then the stuff goes out publicly because someone got the video of it or whatever. And he's like, he didn't know. And he's like, I need to go to USA to get away from this because, you know, publicity, but I will come get you. But he doesn't, and he lies to her and backstab her, and he's the actual person who did film the stuff. And then he throws her away. Then she also works in an office with an IT guy who is really into molkas as well. And he has installed molkas all over the office building in the women's toilets. And he starts falling in love with her because she's the only one who remembers his name, because he's a very weird guy. And he decides that she's the perfect woman for him and starts stalking her and stuff. And then things escalate, and there's a lot of women rage in this one. And I don't know, I liked it. It's definitely not for everyone. I will tell you that. But yeah, it's very fast-paced, very short chapter format. You follow everyone's point of view. It's not really everyone's. You follow the office guy and you follow the female protagonist. And then things just escalate and people die, and yeah. It is what it is, but it's definitely bad, so to speak. Then I read this one, Mame Coordinates. And I don't know what I like about this or not. It's a manga. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because, like, the first book is like a 1 star or a 2 star. Then the second book is maybe a 3 star. So I just put it as a 3 star. It's an okay read, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of things I hate about this manga. I bought volume 1 and 2 from a secondhand store. I got them for $5, both of them. And, you know, looking at the cover, I was like, damn, that's cute. I want to read that. Because I like cute, fluffy things. Then I started reading it and I was like, yeah, okay, I see the problem here. Because it's about a girl called Mame. She is a country bumpkin and she hates fashion and she hates makeup and she hates everything. But someone scouted her because she has a very good body proportions and they were like, you would be a great model. And she decides to become a model, not because she wants to or because she has a burning passion for it, but because why not? So it's like she doesn't want to be a model and she hates everything, but she works to be one anyway. But because she hates it, she doesn't really improve herself, so she doesn't really learn about the industry. She just goes to different auditions and she's just like standing there and just doesn't understand why she doesn't get the gigs. Then they tell her that if you get another no from an audition, we will let you go because you have not done anything for this company. And then they tell her that she will get a new manager, and the new manager is like really good manager, but she's the company wants her out as well. So they kind of tell the manager as well that if you can't get Mame to get approved for a job, then you're both out. So then you have like the manager trying her best because she loves this job really, really much. And she wants this more than anything else. And then you have Mame, who just couldn't give a crap about anything. And she's just like backpedaling all the time. And then the manager have to like teach her about everything. Which is fine, like the premises sounds fine, but then you have like the manager groping Mame in public and being like, you know, pulling her dress up and being like, let me see your ass because I need to see your ass to see if you can fit into this and blah blah blah. Which is just weird behavior, in my opinion, to be like sexualizing her in that way. And then it kind of like, the art is really nice, don't get me wrong, but then the art makes her look very childlike because she is supposed to be a grown woman, but then they like, you know, draw her in a very weird position. There's like one scene when the manager, who is also a girl by the way, she's just like, they go to this restaurant to eat, and then the first thing she tells Mommy that she can eat whatever she wants, and Mommy orders whatever she wants. But then the manager is like, but you're a model, you can't eat that. You need to eat like water and ice. That's all you can eat. So there you already have like this toxic behavior of you can't eat whatever you want, and that's like a continuously thing. Like they continuously to push like stop eating thing on Mame all the time. Not only because she's going to get fat, but because specific foods will get your skin greasy or whatever. But in this scene on the restaurant, the manager is like, I need to know how your body looks like to know what we have to work with. So she kind of like pushes Mame on the table and grope her like all over under her clothing in the middle of a restaurant. And then they paint Mame in a very hentai position, like she's crying with her hands up like this and like all her clothes all shoveled. I don't know, it's a weird read to me. At least the first volume. The second volume, it did get better, and I didn't feel the same vibe to it. It still have the vibe of them speaking about not eating food. But other than that, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it though. If you're not really interested in the modeling industry, because like it doesn't say anything in the end, because like everything has, you know, like a purpose, right? They trying to convey a message, but Mame doesn't start becoming a better model. Like a little bit she gets better from like being coached, but she doesn't want to do it herself. The only reason why she's doing it is because she doesn't want the manager to get fired. So she's only doing it for the manager and not for herself. She herself say all over the time like she loves to eat and she wants to be like a barista, or she wants to work in a family restaurant or whatever. So it's like, why are we doing this entire thing if she doesn't want to do it? Just like, just fucking fire her. You know? Then I decided I want to read Overlord, the light novel. I read the first volume. I love the world building. I think the world building is the thing that I love the most. It's also like a classic and everyone talks about that I haven't read or seen or, you know, experienced Overlord in any media form before. So this is the first time I'm getting into Overlord, the media. Overall, it's like an RPG isekai. You have this MMO game. It's going to be closed or the server is going to die, and this guild leader decides to stay in the game as long as possible, but then when the time hits, he isn't slunged out of the game, but he's still in the game. and he is yeah, he has to like live there and come up with a purpose in his new life. I liked it. I like that all the characters are very well written, because sometimes when you have like side characters, there's always like they don't get much screen time, or like you don't talk too much about them, so you have to like make your own like image of them. But I feel like in this one we put a lot of emphasis on side characters, and I appreciate that. Then on the other hand, there's a lot of fan service going on with women. Like, you know, it's either like, you know, a tomboy girl with no boobs, or it's a woman with mega boobs. And I feel like maybe either it's made so that the main character himself is bad with women and an incel, or it just shows that the author himself is really bad at talking to women. I don't know. As a woman, I just felt like, what the fuck? But a lot of light novels do give that vibe though, so I also like the fact that, you know, in the beginning when he was the guild master and he was just like wearing his character's skin, he was still himself. But then when he actually is stuck in the game, he becomes more and more of a monster. And I feel like that is very, very interesting, because I feel like that's something that is just forgotten in all of the other isekais, because like he is stuck in this skeleton man body, and he realizes when he's trying to save people that he's not really doing it because he is feeling empathy for them, but he's doing it because he wants to gain something. And I find that interesting, that he feels like his humanity is slowly draining away from him. So I'm definitely intrigued to keep, you know, reading this one. One of the other reasons I started reading this one is because my other moderator, General Donut, is a huge fan of that girl. What is her name again? Overlord woman. Oh yeah, her name. What is her name again? I see Albedo. That's apparently his waifu, and he has a lot of figurines of her. So I was a little bit intrigued about like her background story. So that's one of the reasons I started to read this one as well. Yeah, Albedo, yeah. Have to go now. Have a nice hanging out. Have a love stream. Thank you, Gina. Thank you. Bye-bye. My favorite illustrator in all of light novels, Sobin. Ah, yeah, I mean, I do love the illustrations in this one because it's very different from others' illustrations. And I do enjoy that. I enjoy when it's original in a way, if that makes sense. I feel like, you know, the only thing that I didn't like about Overlord, it was probably the odd interactions with every female character ever. But it could also just be, you know, light novel formatting. That's just how it is. And maybe it gets better the further into it you get. So I have ordered volume 2. So I will continue reading it. So yeah, I was happy about it, that it was so good. Let's see. After that, I continued with light novels. I continued with volume 3 of Kuma Kuma Bear. The thing about Kuma Kuma Bear is, you know, you don't have to use your brain cells. This is basically just cuteness overload. You know, cute girls with bear onesies and bear-related magic. It definitely gets better after every like volume. I feel like the first volume was very it didn't say much. Second volume you get more into the story. The third volume more stuff happens, and I feel like, you know, it just gets better and better. But it's just like, is it quality? Is it like, you know, oh my god, this is a 4 or 5 star read? I mean, it depends on you see on it, because like my rating is always on my enjoyment and not so much, oh, this is written so philosophically and oh my god, it's so good. Because I always go, how happy was I when I was reading this? And you know, I'm always fucking happy after reading a Kuma Kuma Bear story. You know, it's just my guilty pleasure, I guess. I just feel like, you know, I read it, I'm happy, I move on with my life. It's nothing, you know, I'm going to walk around and be like, oh my god, I need to analyze this and this is so good. But it's cute and I enjoy it. So yeah, I've bought more of Kuma Kuma Bear to have at home. So yeah, it's my cozy read, so to speak. After that, I decided to pick up Buried Deep, which is a short story collection, mainly fantasy. I borrowed this book from Gina herself. Naomi Novik is Gina's favorite author, and I've written Naomi Novik's other works, but I haven't read her short stories. So I decided that I wanted to try that as well. It has dragons, that's pretty cool. Most of her stories in this book, though, is based on the world or the characters from her books. So a lot of them you had to like read her other books to understand. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because I feel like most of the stories in this was more a miss to me than a hit. I also feel like if you're gonna write short stories, it should be short stories that stand alone and shouldn't be connected to something that you have to do, not research per se, but I feel like you shouldn't need to read something to understand the short story, because it should be its own thing. On the other hand, I'm not a huge short story person. I feel like I don't really understand the formatting, because a lot of people, they write a short story and it's like a scene from something and then it just abruptly ends, and I feel like, yeah, okay, but that wasn't really a story with a finish, a middle, start. You know, it's just a scene out of something, and that really bugs me. Like, it's like they're just taunting me with a little bit of flair and stuff, and then like, okay, you don't get more than that, that's all you get. But yeah, some were pretty good, some sucked. I don't know what to say. It was a really disappointing read, in my opinion, and if I'm going to be honest, 3 stars is like very kind to give. I probably should have given it 2, to be honest, but I was very nice, so. I read the first volume of this because I wanted to read more Yuri. I realized I hadn't read a lot of Yuri yet in the month, so I picked up I Married My Best Friend. I picked up the first volume. I liked it. I don't know why I didn't continue it. I just read the first volume. But it's basically about 2 best friends that they are single for different reasons. One is like a night owl, and she's journalist, author kind of thing. So she works all night. And then she enjoys her hobbies, and she feels like if she was gonna have a partner, she would have to like change her life for that partner, and she feel like she don't want to do that, but she can't find someone who wants to feel like do the things her way either. And then you have the other friend who's like, if we're single in 5 years, we should totally get married because like we can make each other happy because we're friends and stuff like that. 5 years go past and they are still single, so they get married, and the entire manga is about after the wedding, which is kind of interesting because I feel like most other Yuri manga series is more about them falling in love and then being like, but we're both girls, what should we do? And then it ends with maybe a marriage, but this one starts with a marriage. So that's kind of interesting. But then we realized that the other girl, who's like a baker, she's actually, she knows that she's in love with her best friend, and the only reason she brought up them getting married in 5 years is because she really wants to get married with her friend because she's in love with her friend. And in the beginning they have problems being like, they're so different, they can't make time for each other and stuff like that. But then they realize, oh, but this person needs that, and they change as people, and then their lives merge together, and it's very comfy, it's cute. Both starts, like the other girl also starts to realize that her best friend is her most valuable person in her life, and that she probably likes her as well. So maybe they're not just married for the benefit of not being single, but they may be married and they love each other. She also writes a blog, and she writes a blog about their I got married to my best friend kind of thing, and everyone is like hammering on her with negative feedback that they think that they are doing it to for tax reasons and stuff like that, and that she's using her best friend. So there's a lot of facets to it, but I would say it's mainly cozy Yuri, very much slice of life, and two very different people, even though they're best friends, finding like, you know, living together and having life together. I liked it. I should continue it, but I kind of forgot about it. Because after I read that one, I read this one, but I also read only the volume 1 of this one. This one I wasn't such a huge fan of though. Everyone is talking about this one, like she loves to cook and she loves to eat. And there's Yuri about a girl who loves to cook a lot of food, but she's not a big eater. And then you have a woman who loves to eat, and they live next door to each other, and yeah, well, one woman cooks the food and she's like asking her neighbor, hey, can you come over and help me finish all this food? And she says yes. And then their friendship kind of like starts on that. I'm not a huge food manga reader. I know there's like its own genre in itself to read about like cooking and stuff like that, and this one goes into cooking very detailed, and they talk about like cooking a lot, like you do this meal by doing this, this and this. And a lot of the manga is like, I felt like 70% or 80% of the manga is just describing how to make the food, and I'm very uninterested in cooking. Like, I know how to cook, and if I need to cook something, I will look it up. But I feel like I was reading a manga version of recipe book, but with a little bit of sprinkle of Yuri, because they also don't like each other in a romantic way. I think they do, but they start out as friends, and they don't know they're in love. and there is no romance whatsoever. So it's mainly just them making food together and describing how they make the food together and how to do it in the best way and other possible ways to making the food. So it really has recipes. It doesn't have recipes in it. They just describe the process of making the food very, very detailed. And then they talk about, like, you know, if they make a certain food, they'd be like, what do you usually have to fill this? And what do you usually have for side dishes to this? And they like talk about their favorite side dishes to that specific dish. And I'm assuming that's a way to like get to know someone. But me, who's very uninterested in food, it just went above my head, you know, I think. And maybe it's more a Japanese thing that, you know, maybe certain food have certain meanings. But me, who doesn't know much about Japanese food, I don't know, really. It is very cute. It is very cozy. It ended with them saying they wanted to spend Christmas together instead of going home to their families. So, I mean, that's somewhat of them rather seeing each other than... Yeah, I don't know. It's cute though, but it's not my cup of tea because I'm not that into food. But I think there's a lot of books or a lot of volumes in this series. And I don't know, maybe just like, you know, maybe volume 2 is not so much about the food. So maybe I should continue this one. It's not on my priority list to continue. But maybe at some point I will continue it. The first volume to me was just very, very focused on food, and it was just not my thing. After reading that, I wanted to read more books and not manga, so I decided to pick up this light novel, which it is a light novel and it is marketed as a light novel, but it's more written like a normal novel. And what I mean when I say that is, like, a light novel usually is written very lightly with like easy words or short chapters or like very easygoing storylines. You know, I mean, light novels was kind of like a gateway to get more YA, like young adults, to read more and to like get them to read proper books or whatever. But I don't know, like this one is a little bit different. If you have read Before the Coffee Gets Cold, it's more in that area. It's very philosophical. But it's called A Good Day Start with Cats and Books, and it's based around a cozy bookstore in Shinjuku. And it's not just a bookstore, it's like a rent your bookshelf bookstore, which is a new phenomenon in Japan, apparently, where it is like a second-hand bookstore, and every shelf is dedicated to an owner. So you can go into this bookshop and be like, hey, I want to sell books. Can I rent a shelf here? And then you can decorate your shelf and put on books on that shelf. And then people take the books and they buy them, and you get a little bit of the cut from the books. And then the store gets the other cut from the book. So it's kind of like different people renting different shelves. And then the book has like different chapters on the different people who rent shelves in this book. And it's about why they're renting shelves or why they love going to this store or whatever. I thought it was really cute. The author himself is a shelf renter, so a lot of the stories in this one I heard is based on true interactions with customers and how it is to actually be a shelf renter. I feel like this book is written for book lovers. I feel like it's so much about books and finding your love for your books, and because it was also very like, you could sell any book you want on your shelf. Obviously, you can have like any book, but it was always like the shelf who sold the most books were always the shelf who was like the prettiest, decorated, and had books that no one had ever heard of. So just because you bring in bestsellers does not mean your shelf is gonna do well. Then it was also like one chapter about an author. She had her own shelf and she was like really worried about people reading her book, but like in the end she was like putting up her own books on her own shelf and just throwing herself out there as an author, and I thought that was really beautiful. And it's very character driven on different people's book values and how their passion for book was created. Could make a good cozy game. Oh yeah, that could be. Yeah. Maybe, yeah. I could see that. But I feel like this one, very, very good. So if you're a book lover and you enjoy books a lot, I feel like you should give this a go. It does not have any illustrations in it though. Light novels usually have illustrations. This one did not. So I was a little bit sad about that because I really wanted to see the illustrations from the bookshop. It also, the bookshop has a cat inside it who's very sassy. So yeah, books, cats, and tea. That's what that book is about. After that, I decided to continue Kingdom. I read volume 7 and 8. I have ordered or pre-ordered book 9, 10, and 11 as well. I'm still loving this so much. I had a little bit hard time because I was like, all the war depiction is very like exaggerated. But then I realized that maybe that's just what this is. Like they take the actual information about how China was formed as a country, and then they take like all the statistics about like the wars, like it was this much men against this much men, and then we don't have so much in between there. So we get like this exaggerated war tale instead. And I mean, I don't mind it. In these books, we have the Wei War. It's like an arc with the Wei. It comes to a close. It's also a battle between generals rather than the foot soldiers. I don't know. I really enjoy Kingdom. If you enjoy historical fiction and war, if you read The Art of War, that book, the classic, I think you will enjoy this. It's a lot of like war and battle strategy talk and how to become a better warrior. And I don't know, I just like it. I talk about this every month because I read a couple of volumes every month. But yeah, I still give it 5 out of 5 stars. I love historical fiction. I love war. I mean, I don't love war, but like I love war retellings, and I appreciate that it's very historically accurate for the time. And I enjoy that a lot of the generals and the general names are the actual general names from that time and from those wars. So if you're very interested when you're reading this, you can like do your own research and read more about these different wars and generals. And I like that. As a historical fiction nerd, yes. After that, I decided to pick this one up. I've seen some friends on Twitter talk about this. And I read the premises, and it's called My Girlfriend's Child. I read volume 1 to 10, which is the entire series. So the entire manga I devoured, and it's about some teens who do the deed, and they've done the deed for a year, but one time the condom breaks and they don't really think anything's gonna happen because they're like, whatever, it can't be that bad. And then she gets pregnant. And the entire series is about this teen pregnancy and how that infects both of them, obviously, their school and how the society looks at them because they're underage. But then you also have the facet of their parents and their family, how they react to the news that they're having a baby. And then it's very, very educational about pregnancies. I learned so much about pregnancies in this one that I didn't know beforehand. So if you're interested in knowing more about pregnancies, read this one. Like when they go to the different checkups, you have like, you know, the nurses and the gynecologist tell you all this information. I was like, what the fuck? Damn. I didn't know that. But yeah. It teaches you a lot, and in the end of every volume you also have like you can send in your questions to a gynecologist, and they will like answer all your questions about teen pregnancies and normal pregnancies as well. So it's very educational to teach Japanese like teenagers about the risk of what can happen and what opportunities they have if it would happen that they are pregnant. What is the course to take and what do you do? Not long ago, abortions was, you know, illegal and stuff, but they're not now. And they talk about what you can use instead of condoms if you have like a latex allergy and stuff. This art style is so pretty. It is very pretty. I love the art style. But it's kind of like a slice of life, but of a teen mom, because it's the main character is the female protagonist. And we kind of follow how her family and friends take it. She can also not finish school. She really wanted to finish high school, but her high school does not want to have the reputation of, in our school, teens get pregnant, because, you know, society in Japan is all about keeping that face, you know. So they kind of like push her out, and it's really fucking sad. Like, all she wants to do is just go that last year in high school with her friends, and she's like, but I can, you know, put my baby here on this daycare or whatever. And they're like, yeah, but we don't want you here when you're pregnant because that's gonna be a bad look for us. So they kind of like force her to quit school. But he doesn't have to quit school because he's a guy and you can't really tell. And she gets like a bit sad that she feels like her entire body is changing, but also like she's the one who's pushed out of like education and stuff like that, and he's not really affected at all. But then you feel his side of the story, and he is affected like a lot by this pregnancy. It's like his mom and his dad just cut him off, and they're like, fuck you, we don't want anything to do with you, and they kind of like throw him out. You know. So there's a lot of things going on in this one, and it's really sad, and I cried a lot, but I appreciate how educational it is and how they try to teach teenagers about pregnancies. It was, in my opinion, really, really good, but also really, really sad. So it's up to you if you want to read that. I asked around. I know there's this light novel reviewer on YouTube. He made a video about some light novels, and this was one of them. And he talked about it's only one volume, and it's called How to Win Her Heart on the 9th Try. And it's a romance about some office workers, because I felt like a lot of light novels and manga is about high schoolers or teenagers, and you know, I'm 33 years old. I want to read about adults or people my age. I know light novels tend to be for like young adults and teenagers, but I kind of wanted something lighthearted, but for grown-ups. And that's when I came across this one. And it's marketed as a romance, adult office romance. It's technically childhood friends become lovers, so childhood friends dating. She is in some IT company as like, I don't know if it's like a system developer, but some sort of IT stuff, and he's like IT genius. He have loved her ever since they were kids, apparently. And he starts the same company as her, even though the company is really, really small, and with his skills he should be able to get into a much bigger, better office. And she's like, doesn't get it because she doesn't understand that he likes her. And then he helps her, and she realizes that he likes her, and they kind of start dating. But the thing is that he has so many red flags, and I can't really get over them because I kind of feel like he's not a good guy. Like, he do some really weird, sketchy shit, you know? Like, some stuff that he do is straight up illegal, like putting spyware on her phone just to like know where she is and stuff. Like, that's something a stalker would do, not a lover, but what do I know? Right? I also feel like I didn't really feel the romance because like she's dating other guys, but she doesn't feel like they get her. Understandably so, because she is like work bitch, like, you know, a real work body person, and all the men that she meets kind of want her to quit her job and become a stay-home mom, which she is not really. Then he tells her that he likes her, and she's like, damn, I don't know, man, we've been best friends since we were like 5 years old, that's weird. And then the next day she's just like, what the hell, whatever, let's just date. And I kind of feel like I don't feel like that's how love works. But then, like, you know, she doesn't want to make him sad. So she and I'm like, do you date him just to not make him sad? That's also not a valid reason. And then, like, you know, when they get physical, if you know what I mean, she's like, I don't know if I'm comfortable. And if a girl tells you she doesn't know if she's comfortable, maybe she's not comfortable, you know? um, but he's like, but just let me try. And if you're not comfortable, just stop me. And like, internally, she tells us, the readers, that she doesn't like it. But they do the stuff. And then the next day, she kind of like regrets everything that happened, but she couldn't say no because she tried to say no, but he was like still pushing it. And she didn't want to say no again. And then suddenly he just like proposed to her, even though she's like, nah man, we did the deed and I don't know if I liked it. And she still says yes. And I'm like, what the fuck? You don't love him. I don't know. Like, this book was a roller coaster. I don't know if I want to say it's romance. I kind of more feel like she felt obligated to say yes to him because he was so kind and helped her with a lot of stuff, but he was also pretty weird with red flags, right? And and I just feel like she just said yes because she couldn't find anything better. I feel like she settled, right? Doesn't it just give you the vibe of her just settling because she couldn't find anyone else, and he loved her so much that he would let her work and do whatever she wanted because he was kind of like a simp to her? I don't know. It was a weird book. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because I kind of liked the premises of it. It also had like a background story of her dad, where in the end it made sense, sure, but did it like put any value to the plot? No, not at all. Why did we have to add it? I don't know, but it was added for some reason. But yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it. After that, I decided that I wanted to read more historical fiction, and this is about Marie Antoinette and Lady Oscar. And Lady Oscar is fucking hot, and I am so in love with her. This is a manga from the 70s, but they made these deluxe omnibuses that's very pretty. I bought the first one because it's really pretty. I have read this manga before, so this is technically a reread. I know that I love it. The only thing is, I don't really like Marie Antoinette. When I read it back in the day, I really enjoyed it, like a lot. I loved this one. It was just like one of my biggest aha when I read manga as a teenager. And it was just so pretty with all the blossoming eyes and all the roses everywhere, which made sense for the Rose of Versailles. But Marie Antoinette is a bitch, you know, when I reread it now. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because I had a hard time getting through it now when I'm an adult, because all I'm seeing is a 13-14-year-old Marie Antoinette becoming queen, and she's stupid with money. And I know that's historically correct, you know, but it just pissed me off when I was reading it. On the other hand, we have Alex von Fersen, which is a Swedish officer that Marie Antoinette falls in love with. He is very well represented, and he also have very Swedish officer uniform in this one, which I'm really impressed by, considering it was written in the 70s, that she had made such research in making an actual Swedish officer uniform. Maybe it wasn't that hard, to be honest, because it doesn't really differ that much from other uniforms from other countries. But still, I'm impressed, because a lot of other historical manga authors does not take the effort into actually doing research. So I'm impressed by that, because I didn't really remember the outfits, and oh my god, the dresses in this one. Oh, I was so in love with it. But yeah, I would say that everyone should read Rose of Versailles at some point in their life, especially if they love Yuri uh, or history. Oh, thank you for following. uh, but I feel like rereading it as an adult, I don't love it as much as I did the first time I read it. I did see though it got like a new anime adaptation, and I might need to look that one up though, because maybe I will enjoy it in a different media form. I still think I will buy the rest of the deluxes because they're so pretty. I mean, look at this cover. How can you look at this cover and be like, fuck, I'm not gonna buy that? No, you buy it because it's pretty. Or maybe it's just me, I don't know. But history, yes. After that, I decided to read another light novel. This came from, I don't know, I was looking at Audible for something to listen to while I was working in my office, the library, and I couldn't find anything. And then I found this one, which was a light novel, and it was free on Audible. And I was like, but I don't like listening to light novels. So I bought the light novel instead because it sounded intriguing. And I got it like a few weeks later. I started reading it, and I'm super, super surprised about this one. It's not a series, it's just like a standalone light novel. Sorry, I've been speaking for too many hours now. And it's called The Wicked Princess and the 12 Eyes. And it's about this, you know, isekai villainess, and, you know, she gets a second chance in life. Usually when, you know, she's damned to be this villain, and she's a horrible person, and she's told that she has to die and stuff, and she gets poisoned to death. She wakes up and she have a second try in life, and she starts as an infant, as a baby, and she had to like relive her entire life, but with her memories from the first life. But usually people go like, okay, I'm gonna be a better person this time because I don't want to die. But her, not so much. She's like, oh my god, it's not my fault I was like killed. I just had really fucking bad underlings. So this time around, I'm going to find better servants that can do my deed better. So I'm gonna find servants, and I'm gonna train them until I go back to that school and that prince, and then I'm gonna fuck him up and become queen. So she's just more evil, and she's more of a villainess when she gets her second try, which I feel is very refreshing, because that's not usually how those isekais go, right? And it's very, very unexpected. The only thing I feel like I didn't like about this story is that we have a training arc when she's training her servants, and that training arc is going on for a very, very long time. Then we get to the ending, which is very emotional, by the way, and I cried like a little baby at the end because it was unexpected how beautiful the ending was, okay? But then I felt like if we could have made the training arc a little bit smaller, we could have more of that emotional ending, because I felt like the ending was a little bit rushed, in my opinion. But that's the only complaint I really have. Other than that, I really enjoy this one. I like this one. Yeah, I like that she was actually a villainess and not just someone misunderstood. Yeah, me too. And I also like that when you read the epilogues, because there was multiple epilogues, that you see the reasoning why she was the way she was, both in her second life but also in her first life. So like everything came so beautifully together. And I'm not a dog person, but like yeah, without, you know, giving way too much, but like, yeah, I had some tears going. So I gave it 5 out of 5 because I read it in one sitting, because I really enjoyed it. I had to also do some workout because I broke my foot, you know, last autumn. So I still have a lot of workouts to do, and I have, like, you know, you have to walk this many steps a day. So I walk on my walking pad, and usually I listen to music because I can't do anything else while walking. But I was so into this book that I had to like read it while I was walking on the walking pad. That's how invested I was in this story. But I liked it a lot. It was, in my opinion, really, really good. One of my favorite reads this month. After that, I felt like I wanted to read another light novel. This is actually a Thai light novel. I haven't read much Thai light novel. I've read Thai manga before, but not light novel. And I think the issue behind it is because there's not many English translations to them. This is Kin Porch. There's apparently a Thai drama, and the drama people say is better than the actual novels. Oh, it says manga. It's not a manga, it's a light novel. I forgot to change that. I read the first volume, and it's about this guy whose parents are dead, and he's taking care of his little brother. His name is Kin. And sorry, his name is Porch. And then the Kin guy is the mafia sons, and they get like entwined with each other, and be like, okay, he's good at fighting, so we can hire him as a fighter and a bodyguard, and into the mafia house he goes. Both Kin and Porsche are tops and very dominant, and neither kind of like submits to the other. So you have like two top dogs trying to like bark louder than the other, and that's kind of like their energy towards each other. It's also very like funny to see it happening. I'm not a huge fan of either characters. I feel like all the characters in this are shit, and they're mean and evil. And there's a lot of toxicity and a lot of red flags. But I feel like maybe that's supposed to be like that because they do work in the mafia and underground. The only thing I also feel like I wanted more of was that, I mean, he is the bodyguard of a mafia son who also works as like a mafia. I wanted to see more of the mafia background, more of the actual work that they do, because the only thing that we actually got to see was him being a bodyguard and following them to meetings where they exchanged papers with each other, or they went out to a bar to drink. That's kind of all they did, and I feel like I wanted more. And I'm not saying every mafia guy kills people and bury them in the forest every day, but like, I wanted something more exciting, I think, when it came to the mafia background thing. I do enjoy the dynamic of a yaoi where both are tops and both are like the top dog, and they're both dominant and they don't like submit to each other, because I feel like that's very interesting. I feel like a lot of people, when they write yaoi or boy love, they usually take and make like a hetero stereotypical relationship with like a very feminine guy or a femboy, or just, you know, not as masculine, and then you have a very masculine man, so you technically get like a female and a guy in a relationship even though there's two guys. Here you get like both are extremely manly and very like masculine, but they're still kind of like each other. And I feel like that dynamic is very different, and I like that. I like that we get to see a different kind of boy love that's not the stereotypical one. But yeah, I mean, it is very toxic to read this one. But I liked it. It's a yes for me, and I bought the second one. Another thing that I feel like is very huge with this one, a lot of a lot of danmeis that I've read, like Chinese danmeis per se, they are not big on consent, because there's a lot of rape in those. But this one was very, very good on consent, because they always, before something happened, they always asked, is this what you want? Is this okay? And they didn't do anything until the other person agreed. And I appreciate that, because I don't enjoy the Chinese danmei where they romanticize rape. That's not for me. Got to go. I will join in later. Yeah, bye bye, Aya. Bye bye. Have a good day. Then I picked this one up. This one is a manga series. I read the entire one from volume 1 to 11. And this is my other top read from this month. I think this is my favorite manga of the month. It was a true mindfuck of a thriller horror, and I loved it. I tried to, because there's a Japanese drama based on this manga, and it sucks, so do not go and look for that, because it's really, really bad, sadly. But the manga is really, really good. It's about this guy who realizes that he has DID, or split personality, because people say that he do things without him knowing that he have done them. And it turns out that he have had split personality his entire life, but before it was always that his other personality only came to life during the evening when he went to bed. But now that other part of him can take control of multiple days, up to a week almost. And there's a lot of things that happens. The manga is called The Killer Inside, and the main character is the son of a serial killer. His dad was a serial killer, and he took his own life when people found out he was a serial killer. And society does not, look well on him, because he is the son of that man who did those horrible things. And the question is, his other personality, is it a good one or a bad one? And it kind of gives the vibes in the first few volumes that he's not a very good personality, let's say. And maybe he's the new serial killer, and he's taking off where his dad stopped. And then it starts mindfucking you, and there's a lot of twists and turns. And I was just like sitting there with my mouth open, like, the entire time, because like It's so good, but I can't say too much about it. Like, oh my god, it's so good. I wish that I could delete my memory of this book or this series and read it for the first time, because it's so good. Like, if you want to read a new manga and you're into thriller and stuff, just pick this one up. It's worth it, I promise. Then I asked a co-worker of mine, you know, I was like, tell me a book you think I should read. And he told me to read The Foundation by Isaac Asimov. And this is a classic novel, a sci-fi novel. And this is the classic sci-fi novel that created Star Trek, and it created, I don't know, a lot of sci-fi stuff. I did not like it. Like, I enjoyed the premise, but I did not enjoy the execution of how they did it. To me, the execution was just really boring, because the story is about far, far, far into the future. Humans live on multiple, you know, planets, and there's this math guy who says that he have counted that in a few hundred years the planet is going to go extinct, and all the people on it is going to die, and he is doing this research of if he gets to collect information and do it in a specific way, then it's going to prolong human life, basically, due to his statistical math calculations. So people don't really like him on the planet because he is telling them about the world ending. So they give him the choice of getting a planet, so they kind of like ship him off to a different planet where he can build his own society or whatever, which he do, and then it comes out like his plans, because he's been planning multiple thousands of years into the future of this planet on all the people, how they should deal with stuff. And he comes in like holographic memory, like he made holograms of himself, so like every 100 years or so he comes and he's like, you should do this, this and this, but I'm not gonna tell you how because that's gonna ruin the future. And then the people living on the planet has to like do specific things to keep humans alive or whatever. Like, the premise sounds good, but the entire book is written in dialogue format, and that's not very fun. Because it's not showing us what happened, it's telling us what happened. And it's basically the government sits at like a table, and then like every chapter is just like, okay, the new government is these people, and they sit around this table and they have a conversation about what happened the past 100 years. And then the next chapter, we have a new government or a new group of people who's taking care of the planet, and they have a dialogue on what happened these 100 years or whatever. And it's basically just boys sitting and talking about historical things that happened on the planet, and that execution is just boring as hell. This is a trilogy. I will not read the other two books. Like, I enjoyed parts of it. I enjoyed some quotes of it. I understand why it's a classic. I understand why it's written, but I don't understand how they decided to write it like that, because it sucks, okay? I don't really have much to say about it more than I hated it. Don't read it. Then I read volume 3 of Hitting Rewind with You. This is the third volume of these two people, main characters, who they missed out on their teenage years when they were high school. They are now in university, so they decide to like dress up in their old high school uniforms and go on typical high school dates. On volume 3, they realize that they are getting feelings for each other, so it's not just being friends going on dates anymore, but they are having romantic feelings. And this is just extremely fluffy, extremely cute, very chill manga to read. They tell each other how they feel in this one, and they start dating for real. It's just very fluffy. I was giggling, I was kicking my legs when I read this. There's not really much to say. If you want a really fluffy read, I would recommend this one, Hitting the Rewind with You. I personally don't understand the reason why you dress up as a high schooler, because that's kind of weird. But like, if that makes you happy, you go girl, right? Another manga omnibus that I read that's also like, it's the entire story. It's kind of thick omnibus, but like it's one in all. It's Handsome Girl and Sheltered Girl. I liked it, but I wanted more from this. It's about this really handsome girl who kind of have features to be a guy. And then you have a girl who's extremely sheltered from life by her parents, and she comes from a very wealthy family and they don't really let her do much. So she has no experience in anything. This sheltered girl thinks that the handsome girl is a guy, and she kind of like gets asked out on a date just for a gag or like funsies. And the sheltered girl is like, oh my god, he likes me the way I like him. And the handsome girl's like, shit, now now I'm in a situation where they think I'm a guy, and she has to like pretend to be a guy, and they start dating, and the sheltered girl doesn't really understand that she's a girl, and that's the biggest issue. The entire book is basically about them going on dates and the handsome girl trying to figure out how she should tell the other girl how she's a girl, but she doesn't want to tell her because she kind of realized that she do like her as a partner, but she doesn't want her to be like, ew, you're a girl, I don't want to be with you, stuff. So she kind of doesn't tell her because she's afraid that she's gonna be left. I felt like we had 2 more chapters left of the book. That's very thick, by the way. Suddenly it's just like, okay, now we have to tell her that I'm a girl, and everything got resolved really easy, and I didn't like that. That's my only issue with it, and I don't know. But it is a Yuri, it is gender misunderstanding, but I don't know if it is a Yuri. I mean, technically it is 2 girls being in love, going on dates, but the other girl thinks it's a guy, so like it's just Yuri, one-sided Yuri, maybe? I don't know. It's cute, it's nothing super special. I think it kind of felt like the author only got a certain amount of chapters, and then they had to like tie the bag really quickly because the ending came very abruptly. Other than that, I don't really have any issue with it. It was okay. It was cute. It was readable. I don't don't know if you guys remember when I talked about Double S, I said he's my manga version of Stephen King, because I buy everything with his name on it. But I have another manga artist that I do that with, and that's Shuzo Ishimi. Ishimi is also one of my favorite manga artists. Devil's Ecstasy is one of his extremely early works. This is volume 2. I read volume 1 last month. I'm not a huge fan of this series whatsoever, but I bought it because it's Oshimi's that wrote it. And it is very interesting to see his early works, just to see, like, you know, the difference in his storytelling now compared to then. This entire series is a very, like, wild ride. It's very over the top. It makes no sense. It's ridiculous, but it's kind of funny. It's ecchi. It has a lot of boobs and pee-pees in it and cum. But it's one of the weirdest mangas I've read in a very long time, you know? Like, it's like I enjoyed it somewhat. Will I be able to recommend it? I don't think so. Like, I feel like to recommend this, I have to recommend it to a very specific person, and I don't know if I know anyone that would, like, fit that description. But yeah, you know, it's about succubus who sucks semen out of guys, but not like the cum semen, but semen like their life force semen that drains them, and that makes the succubus poop out babies. Yeah. Back because my brain needs a break. I see I came back at just the right time. Yeah. The second installment, the second volume is... Because the first one is about the main character finding out about the succubus and the succubus massage parlor. This one, on the other hand, is about him teaming up with, like, police officers to, like, murder and take down all the succubuses. And then the queen succubi say that he basically is the he-man that can make the succubus and human be part of one, and they can live together in a world, but then they need him to perform stuff with a succubi. I don't know, it was a weird ending. Then again, everything is weird when it comes to this, no? But yeah, it's not my favorite Oshimi installment ever. But it's also his early work, and it's just like, it's not for me. His new series will come out in October or November, somewhere there, and I'm really looking forward to that one. Speaking about sex, I also read this one. I read it because it's Jeanette McCurdy. I don't know if you guys saw iCarly, and she also wrote that really famous biography, I'm Happy My Mom Died. Sometimes people do be horny. Yes, that is true. Her biography is getting a movie soon, and she wrote her very first novel. And oh no, I didn't change the author name. It's not Oshimi who wrote this. It's Jeanette McCurdy. Sorry. Goddamn. It also says Oshimi's early work. Okay, I was obviously tired when I made these yesterday. But this is a weird one. I don't know if you guys have read Lolita, but Lolita is, you know, that classic about this guy who grooms a girl and kind of makes her fall in love with him and stuff. And people say that the book Lolita is romanticizing like inappropriate sexual stuff, pedophilia, but it's not. It's just a very like well-crafted classic to show how the psyche of a very disgusting sexual depraved man is. Jeanette McCurdy decided to write this book kind of like Lolita, but from the woman or the girl's perspective. And it's very, very horny. This book is very horny. It has a lot of sex in it, a lot of sex scenes. And it is about this 17-year-old girl who falls in love with her teacher. And she doesn't know why, but there's something about him that she just likes. He is like 40 something. He's married and he has like kids and stuff. But she decides that he is the one for her, I guess. We soon later find out that her mom is like a man, like think womanizer, but for men, so manicizer. I don't know. She goes after every man and she can't be alone because she feels like she can't be herself if she's not in a relationship. So her moods kind of like goes up and down depending on who is she dating and if she has a man at all. Which this main character think is really horrible because she never had a mom growing up and she doesn't have a dad either. So she had to like grow up really, really early and take care of her mom when she was just like 6 or 7 years old. 6, 7. Okay, sorry. And and I think that's why she's drawn to her teacher. That's like double her age, because she's like, she can't connect with guys her own age because she finds them to be very ridiculous and stupid and childish, because she herself have to act like an adult ever since she was a kid. So she thinks there's nothing wrong with like seducing her teacher, which she does. And I mean, it ends the way you think it's going to end. Like, he ends his marriage for her and she realizing, ew, I hate him. I just like the idea of him. But they also like, you know, she's 17 going on 18. She's soon 18. I don't know. It made me feel very like nauseated. It's not easy to be like a teen and expected to be an adult at the same time. And I feel like sometimes girls also have to like grow up faster, like, you know, after you get your period, which you get very early, thank you very much. Like sometimes some girls are like 9 years old when they get their period. It's just like, you're a woman now you have to act like a woman. And you know, it was very well written in that aspect, that it's hard to be a young teen and not have an adult you can confide in. And the only adult that actually listens to you is your teacher, who also wants to get into your panties, you know? It's a hard book. That's why I said it's a maybe for me, because it's a hard book to sell in to people. I myself, I like it. Will I recommend it? I don't think so. I don't know. It's a very specific book to recommend, I feel like. It makes you uncomfortable, but that's also the point. Yeah, exactly. It kind of makes you uncomfortable to make you feel like this is actually what a lot of young teenage girls actually have to go through. And that's why we need, you know, proper adults and grown people who help us, you know, navigate in life, because it's like you think that, oh, I'm so like I had to like act like my mom's mom my entire life. I had to be an adult at a very young age, but that doesn't mean that like your front lobe is, you know, developed yet. You still, even if you have to act like an adult, doesn't mean that, you know, you have all the brain capacity to actually be an adult. So that's why it's so important that like teenagers have that father figure or mom figure or just an adult close to them to navigate from teenager to adulthood, and not have people around you that is trying to seduce you or lead you down the wrong path, so to speak. Ugh. Water. I decided to read another danmei. There's something about danmeis that, for you guys who doesn't know, it's a Chinese light novel about boy love, basically. This one is about like the cultivating. It's like a fantasy world, kinda, but also not. It's more like this, the back in the day kind of world. I don't know. It's fantasy historical world, I think, with a lot of ghosts and stuff. Everyone told me, like, it's, you know, every danmei that I read has red flags in them, and every danmei I read is very toxic, and I feel like maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not cut out to read danmei. Maybe I'm just so clever that I can't look past the red flags, because all the girls who read them, they romanticize everything, and they feel like, oh, I mean, he did do genocide, but it's not his fault, you know? But in my mind, if you do genocide, you're a bad man. You know? You can't really talk yourself out of that. And I just realized that the more I read danmei, the more it's just realizing it's just not for me. And everyone is just telling me, oh, it's because you read the wrong series. And I'm like, okay, tell me, what series is it that I should be reading then? And then they suggest something, and I'm like, okay, I will buy that, and I will try that instead. And I do, but then it fucking sucks, and it's also red flags, and they're like, yeah, but it's not that bad. Like, you know, I read this case compendium or case something, and it's just extremely homophobic, right? Which is just crazy to me that we have homophobia in a boys' love story. Like, what? Anyway, that was a really weird one, and I didn't like it. I gave it 2 stars, right? And then everyone was like, yeah, that's a really bad one. You should read The Husky and the White Cat Shih Tzu instead, because that's one is very romantic and it's very cozy. And I was like, you know what? Bet. I take people up on that bet. And I read this one, and I'm like, what do you mean? This is just as homophobic as the other one. What do you mean? I don't know, man. Like, why do we have to be? Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of like. Also, there's rape in this one, which is just like the first 2 chapters. He's like, you know, because it starts with this guy, he's taking over the world, and he's like this bad boss bitch man, but like his enemy, who's also his lover, he died because he killed him, and he's like, oh, how can I live in a world without my enemy? So he takes his own life, and then he goes back in time and has to do it all over again and like relive his life. And this time he's like, fuck yeah, I can take over the world again and kill my enemy again. I'm sorry. And then when he wakes up after like killing himself, he wakes up and he is in like the whorehouse with a guy or whatever, and he rapes him to death almost, and then he cuts his face so he can't find another man to be with. Like, what? And then he steals from him. And then when someone is confronting him, if like, did you do this? He laughs and say, no. I don't know. I don't know. There's also another scene where he, you know, he has his love, because there is another guy who's his actual lover, and he's like, oh, I actually like this one. It's the love of my life. Like that. He tries to grape him as well, even though that they're lovers. But then it turns out that that's actually his enemy, who is just like taking the form of his lover, because they were like in a cultivation house or whatever that lets you see what you want to see. So the main character, who's a bad person, he see his teacher as his lover because he is in love with his lover. And I was like, that makes no sense. But then he tries to like rape his lover, who's actually his teacher, and his teacher is into it. But he whips him like 200 times, so he almost dies, because he's like, don't touch me. And then he whips him with like an actual whip. And he almost died. I don't know, but these stories does not like, oh my god, it's so sweet, it's so romantic. I don't know, it's just probably not for me. Yeah, I don't recommend it. Even in voice live, there has to be cultivation. Yeah. Toxic yaoi, the author has to be homophobic. Fun fact is that... Hello. Tay got home from work. Fun fact is that most of these authors that I've been reading is female authors, which you can tell because when there's a sex scene, they do not know that you need lubrication, because it's always like the ass just moist up by itself, which I find very interesting because that's not how male autonomy works, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, what do I know? You guys maybe have moist asses. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe they use magic for getting that moist. I don't know. I just realized that Danmei is just not for me. Only after Chipotle. I see. Well, if there's a butt is naturally moist, I'm concerned about stores. I mean, it's just so weird to me. It's like really, really, really weird. But yeah, I realized this is not for me. And I felt like I need to read something more cute. Okay, so I decided to read this manga series that's called Hana Mori. Okay. I don't remember. Sorry, I have to go and see. Hana monogatari. Okay, Hana monogatari. Okay. It doesn't have an English translation right now, what I know of. But this is older lady Yuri. I love Yuri. Yuri is the best, in my opinion. Danmei has nothing on Yuri. Wait, is gay and it's not automatically 5 stars? Wait, I gave it 3 stars? No. But it was so good. I think it's just 3 stars because I forgot to change it from the Danme. Wait, I'm gonna go to my Goodreads and see what I actually gave it. I think I gave it 5, to be honest. 5 or 4. Oh my god, I hate... Yeah, I gave it 5 stars. Yeah, my bad. But it's about a younger woman. Her husband just died. She's in her 70s. And her granddaughter tells her, you can finally do whatever you want. You don't have, grandpa telling you what to do. And she's like, oh, I don't mind. You know, she's been a housewife her entire time and whatever. But then we get flashbacks of her relationship with the grandfather, and you realize that they probably just got together because they were comfortable around each other and they wanted to form a family, not because they actually love each other. And she also starts to she has this internal thought process that kind of gives you flashbacks that portray that she is lesbian, really. And she's always been interested in women, but her husband kind of pushed her down, and he kind of told her what to wear, what to eat, what to enjoy, what to do with her life, so she'd been living her entire life just catering to him and what he wants. But now that he's dead, she's not happy he's dead, because they were still partners for life and she still loved him as a person, even though she was probably never in love with him the way she realizes that she's now in love with a woman. But she realizes that she can be herself. She can start wearing whatever dresses she wants to wear. She can start using makeup again. She can go out with her girlfriends. And it's like discovering yourself, but in an older age. And this was just the most beautiful story I've read in a very long time. And you're never too old to just be your true self. So you don't have to have all the answers when you're young, if you're 70 years old and be like, oh, I always wanted to try skateboarding, go do it. You're probably gonna hurt yourself, but I mean, all skateboarders hurt themselves. But do whatever makes you happy. Right now, I think there's 2 volumes out, and I read both of them. I think there's supposed to be a 3rd and a 4th coming out, but I haven't seen them coming out yet, so I'm waiting for them. I do recommend it. It's really, really good. So if you want a cute old lady Yuri, I do recommend this. Those characters in the cover, those are supposed to be 70-something. Yes. Yes, they are. But I know, it doesn't look like they are. I decided to read this story. This is the first book in a dark romance story. It's called Cross My Heart. The other one is called Seal Me. Or no, something, I don't know. There's a story with 3 books. I read all 3 books, so you do not have to. This is a big no for me. There's a 2 or 3 star read. It's just It's about a girl whose bigger sister went to Oxford in England. They are from America. And her sister went there for like 1 term. And then something brutally happened to her that she does not want to talk about. And she quit school in Oxford and she goes back to America, where she killed herself. Yeah, she threw herself off a bridge or something. The little sister is like, what the fuck? What happened? And all she got out of her sister was that someone drugged her and kidnapped her somewhere to some secret party somewhere. She doesn't really remember much, but she remembers a guy with a crown and a snake. It was like a tattoo of a crown and a snake or something. And she also some, like, I don't know, that's the story we get in the first book, but the story changes in the second book, because then suddenly she was like not just captured by one guy, but then suddenly the sister is like, yeah, she was not captured by one guy, she was gangbanged for an entire week and drugged for a week. And I'm like, what? You never told us about that. Now suddenly that's what happened? I don't know. I feel like the author didn't know herself and just like threw in crazy shit all the time. But anyway, the little sister decides that she wants to know who did this to her sister. So she kind of gets into Oxford herself to like find the guy who did this to her sister, which sounds like a cool premises, right? She's there for revenge and but then she falls in love with her teacher. Do not fret, she's 27 and he's like 40, which I also learned in book 2, because in book 1 they just talk about how hot he is with his 6-pack and everything, and big dick that no one can swallow. I don't know. And like and I was like seeing, and he was a young teacher at Oxford, but apparently 40 is young in Oxford. I don't know. I mean, there was also more sex scenes than actually her trying to find the revenge for her sister. So it felt like there was more sex than plot in this one. So if you just want to read sex scenes, this is a good series for you. There's also no like romance between her and the teacher. It's just like instant attraction and they just like love each other's bodies. But then like when he learns about her revenge, she's like, I will die for you, my love. I will do anything for you. And then when it turns out it's probably one of his best friends, he's like, I don't care. I will kill my friend for you. And I'm like, how can someone become a simp like that? But every time someone asks him about what he likes about the girl, he's just like, her boobs are nice, her ass is cool, you know, like physical attraction stuff. I kind of felt like they didn't love each other, they were just like into each other's bodies, and that's fine, but like you can't be a ride or die with just physical attraction, not to me at least. So it was kind of weird. Like, it's an okay read. It's a good, like, if you want to pass the time, sure, but like if you have limited the time for reading, I would not recommend you reading this, because like, sure, you don't have to like get educational from everything you read, but this just felt like brain rot to me. I don't know. And also in book 3, when it turns out we get to know who did it to her sister, it made no fucking sense. It was just like she pulled it out of her ass, the author. It just came from nowhere. You know? And that really pissed me off as well, because I was like, okay, I would read the 3rd book just to know who did it, and when I learned who did it, I got really, really fucking mad. because I felt like I put multiple hours into reading these books. Okay, I read all 3 books in one day, and I know that's not normal, but to me it felt like I gave it an entire day, and that's not fair to get that fucked up ending. That was really bad. But yeah, it wasn't a good book. So after that, I really wanted to read something good. Authors should have just wrote porn and get it over with. Yeah. A book doesn't need to make you smarter, but it should make you lose intelligence. Exactly. Exactly. But like sometimes you want to read like, you know, junk food books, like, and like that's fine. I read a lot of these sloppy, shitty things, you know. But like it should at least be enjoyable and make sense. You can't just be like, you know, have sex every page and then be like they love each other deeply, because like he does not even know she had a sister until like book 2. Like, what? But you love her and you would die for her. But and he's like, oh yeah, where in America did you live again? Oh, but you know, he would die for her because he loved her so much. Like it just, nah, I don't know. But I wanted to read something good after that, so I picked up this one, T. Kingfisher, because everyone tells me T. Kingfisher is an amazing author. I think they go by they, them. So I'm gonna try to use that. But apparently Kingfisher has written books about almost everything. Fantasy, horror, I mean, you name it. Nothing has really compelled me to want to read until I saw this one. It's called Wolfworm, which is based on an actual worm called Wolfworm. And it's about bugs. It's about this girl who, I mean, she's an illustrator. And she doesn't really get that many jobs. But then one day, there's this bug scientist who is looking for someone to illustrate his book of bugs for him. It's also set in the 1800s, so it's like back in the day. And she goes to him, and he's a horrible person, and she hates the bugs. She also trying to discover what happened to the person who did the illustration before she got there, because no one wants to talk about that woman. And she's trying to like lurk up like all the information. It's a little bit like of a murder mystery, but not really murder, I guess. More like a mystery, trying to find out who she was and what happened to her. There's also like a cabin in the woods that she's not allowed to go to, which she obviously tries to go to, because why not? Yeah, it had a lot of bugs, a lot of bugs. So if you're not a big fan of bugs crawling under your skin, like literally, and worse things that happen to the characters in this book, you should not read this one. Because it's disgusting. The more you got into it and you learned what these insects actually did and the experiments that these mad scientists did with, ew, you know, still when I think about it, I feel disgusted. The city I work in had an outbreak of like a specific little fly. It comes like 1 week each summer. It's just like everywhere, and they are so disgusting, and they itches, and you scratch yourself. And I shouldn't have read that book while this infestation was going on in that city, because I felt like things were crawling on me, like both from reading the book but also from being outside and actually having things crawling on me. Ugh. But yeah, it was really good. It was kind of written like a young adult book though, which I'm not a huge fan of. It felt like it was dumbed down, and I'm not a huge fan of dumbing down text. So because of that, it's a 4 out of 5 star. The last book that I read was Tradwife. I read it on stream 2 days ago. So the last of August, we had a stream, a focus study stream, and I finished this one, Tradwife. It's basically Rosemary's Baby, but social media and TikTok. For everyone that doesn't know, a tradwife is standing for traditional wife, which is people on TikTok who tries to be housewives from the 50s and 60s, where they do everything for the husband and take care of the babies and stuff like that. We have this girl who is a trad wife on social media, I think primarily on Instagram, but also a little bit on TikTok, but mainly on Instagram. Her husband is not so interested in her anymore. We as readers understand it's because he's having an affair with another woman. She is very slow. She does understand it, but she doesn't want to like say it, because once she say it, it's like, you know, you can't take it back kind of thing. So she's trying to like lie to herself about that fact. But she really wants to have a baby because she thinks like they're going to be the perfect husband and wife as soon as she gets a baby. And the reason why he's so distant is because she hasn't been able to produce a baby yet, because he can't be the problem, because a man can't be sterile, because like in the Bible it says the man is perfect, and it has to be her fault and her wrongdoings why she can't have a baby. I just hated reading this book so much due to this, but that's also why it was so good. The female rage in me with this book is just... Anyway, she goes out and finds a well on like her property. They have recently moved to a new place. On this well, she throws down a penny and she makes a wish that, please, I want to have a baby. And after that, an entity starts to visit her every night, and he's like, do you want a baby? I can give you a baby. And she's like, what are you? Are you an angel? And he doesn't really answer her. Then she asks her husband if angels can come and visit in the night, and he's like, yeah, of course they can. And so she decides to lie to herself that that's probably an angel, so she accepts him to give her a child, because like Mary and Joseph did, and they had Jesus, so she's like, I'm gonna have the next Jesus. Even though she kind of realizes it's probably not an angel, and probably more likely a fallen angel or a demon, she gets pregnant, and then the gore starts. Because it's obviously not a normal child that she has, and it's really, really good. The ending was immaculate, like it was so good. It was kind of like poetic, and I feel like the monster was a better husband than her actual husband all along, and that says a lot. Yeah, I really like this one. I don't want to say too much because I feel like that can take away too much. But there is one quote that I really like, and that's she's thinking about, because she gets a daughter in the end. She's thinking about this daughter and how she's gonna like take care of the daughter, and she's like, I don't know if I want to raise another traditional wife or a wife or someone who is a doormat to a man. I rather raise a feral woman who know what she wants, and I feel like that's a pretty good quote. I too want to raise a feral woman. Much better. But yeah, that was actually the last book that I read. Yeah, that's all the books, if you believe it or not. We have gone through 40 manga, 9 light novels, and 17 normal books. I am pretty happy with it though. Like, I think it's turned out pretty good. Or it turned out pretty good. I mean, I had a lot of free time. Tay been working entire of July, and I've been on vacation from work entire of July. So this has just been me being bored at home reading, because like this is like double the amount of what I usually read in a month. So I knew this stream was gonna be long, and it was long. And a woman who knows what she wants does not necessarily have to be feral. I mean, that's true too. That is true. But I mean, she did raise a monster after all. So. But yay! We did it. We went through all the books. And now I'm hungry. Is Tay hungry? He is hungry, poor man. I guess we will go and make the most Swedish dish there is. Meatballs and potatoes. Very good. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go and make some dinner, so thank you everyone for staying for the 3 hours I've been rambling about books. And much love to you all. Is that a good heart? It's pretty good heart, yeah. And I will see you guys next stream. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.